Part 1 subtitle, The Weight He Never Put Down. Part 2 subtitle, Smiling While Falling Apart. Everyone thinks Kakashi Hatake is calm because he is strong, but the truth is he learned to be calm because feeling anything hurt too much. By the end of this video, you will understand why Kakashi's quiet nature was never peace, only survival. Kakashi didn't want glory. He didn't want praise. What he wanted was simple and painfully human. He wanted the pain to stop. From a young age, Kakashi learned that attachment came with a price. Rules mattered more than people. Duty mattered more than emotion. That belief didn't make him disciplined. It made him empty. His father taught him to care. The world punished that lesson immediately. When Tsukumo chose compassion over orders, Kakashi watched respect turn into shame. He learned that love could destroy you. And worse, it could destroy the people you love. So Kakashi adapted. He became colder, sharper, perfect. But perfection isn't healing. It's hiding. Then came Team Minato. For a brief moment, Kakashi tasted something dangerous. Connection. Trust. Belonging. Obito was loud where Kakashi was silent. Rin was gentle where Kakashi was rigid. Minato believed in him in a way no one ever had. And slowly, Kakashi began to lower his guard. That was the mistake. Loss didn't arrive all at once. It came in waves, each one stripping something away. First, rules failed him. Then teammates died. Then responsibility turned into guilt. When Kakashi lost Obito, it broke his certainty. When he lost Rin by his own hand, it shattered his soul. Some wounds never close. They just get quieter. Kakashi didn't scream. He didn't rage. He did something worse. He shut down. From that moment on, Kakashi lived like a ghost wearing a human body. Always present, never truly there. He smiled, but it never reached his eyes. He taught, but never attached. He protected others, but punished himself. This wasn't strength. It was self-erasure. Kakashi threw himself into missions, not because he loved fighting, but because exhaustion was the only time his mind went quiet. Sleep was rare. Dreams were cruel. So he stayed awake. He read novels not for pleasure, but for escape. Other people's stories were safer than his own memories. The more capable he became, the more isolated he felt. People admired him. No one knew him. And Kakashi preferred it that way. Because if no one got close, no one could die because of him again. That belief became his prison. Every student reminded him of a past he failed to protect. Every bond felt like a countdown to tragedy. So he stayed distant, professional, unreachable. This is how depression often hides. Not in tears, but in function. Kakashi showed up. He performed. He saved lives. And inside, he carried a weight no rank could lift. He didn't think he deserved peace. He thought survival was his punishment. Guilt shaped his identity. Responsibility consumed his sense of self. And grief became the background noise of his life. This wasn't a phase. It was a pattern. The more loss he experienced, the more he believed that caring was a liability. That happiness was temporary. That attachment was a weakness. So he chose numbness. Not because he wanted to feel nothing, but because feeling everything was unbearable. And somewhere along the way, Kakashi forgot the difference between being alive and simply not being dead. He wasn't chasing strength anymore. He was running from memories. And the saddest part is this. He didn't even realize how broken he was. Because when pain becomes normal, you stop questioning it. You just carry it. He carried it so well that even he believed the mask. Kakashi wasn't cold because he lacked emotion. He was cold because emotion once destroyed everything he touched. When your past teaches you that caring equals catastrophe, detachment feels like control. This is not maturity. This is fear wearing discipline as armor. Trauma doesn't always make people loud. Sometimes it makes them quiet, efficient, and dependable. Kakashi learned that if he became useful enough, maybe the world would stop taking from him. Achievement became a substitute for worth. If he saved enough lives, maybe the ones he lost would forgive him. But guilt doesn't work that way. Every success only reminded him of earlier failures. Every mission completed echoed the one he couldn't, so he kept moving. Because slowing down meant remembering, and remembering meant feeling Rin's blood on his hands again. This is what happens when grief has no place to go. It turns inward. It becomes self-blame. It becomes identity. Kakashi didn't ask why he survived. He assumed it was a mistake. Survival felt like debt, and debt must be repaid with suffering. That belief shaped every choice he made. He avoided closeness not because he disliked people, but because he believed proximity was dangerous. Attachment meant responsibility. Responsibility meant loss. Loss meant unbearable guilt. So he chose distance, then called it professionalism. Even his smile was controlled, not joyful, managed, a way to reassure others without inviting questions. Humor became a shield. Silence became safety. This is a common trauma response. Control the environment. Control the self. Never let chaos inside again. But here is the painful truth. Control doesn't heal fear. It feeds it. The turning point for Kakashi wasn't power or rank. It was being forced to teach. To guide lives instead of burying them. Naruto, Sasuke, messy, emotional, alive. They didn't let him disappear. They challenged his distance. They ignored his walls. They reminded him of the people he lost and the people he still had time to protect. And slowly something shifted. Not the pain that never vanished. The meaning did. Kakashi began to realize he wasn't alive to punish himself. He was alive to carry memory forward, to turn loss into guidance, to let pain inform compassion instead of isolation, to stand where others once stood alone. He wasn't chasing freedom. He was running from helplessness. And when he stopped running, he finally saw it clearly, quietly, painfully. He was never cursed. He was unfinished. This story isn't just about Kakashi. It's about you when you stay busy to avoid silence, when you call numbness peace, when you confuse being useful with being valued, when rest feels dangerous because your thoughts get louder. Sometimes you don't want happiness. You want predictability, because pain you expect feels safer than hope you might lose. But healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means letting memory coexist with breath. It means allowing yourself to live without asking permission from your past. It means accepting that surviving was not a crime. Kakashi didn't stop hurting. He stopped hiding from it. And that's why this story hurts so deeply, because in the end, strength wasn't his greatest trait. Survival was. If this story stayed with you, there are more quiet truths waiting on Anime Whispers. Subscribe and stay with us for the next story that listens back.